It's called Unpacked. So how did you get that title?
Well, so it's a travel memoir, but it's also about emotional baggage. So Unpacked kind of encapsulates both of those things. I do love a good play on words. So the book is about my 5 years living as a nomad in Europe and traveling every 8 months or so, working in tourism, backpacking around Western Europe, so Italy, Germany, France, and the Netherlands, and Greece. And I ended up in an off grid community in the Spanish Pyrenees, and how I had to escape from that community and from that tumultuous relationship there.
Mm.
I love Halifax, and actually, I'm going to go back to visit with
Yeah.
my book tour. I'm going to end
Oh,
up
great.
across the country
Yeah, that's wonderful.
in Halifax. I sit on a smooth boulder before the fork in the path. My eyes drift over a deep valley of thick forest and mountains in the distance, and narrow in on the choices in front of me. The route I would have to climb has soft, loose dirt lined with juniper bushes, and another below it, more like a deer trail, has sharp, jagged edges with a steep descent. I drink water, eat some trail mix, and mull over my options. So today's the day, the Unpacked book launch in Victoria at Spiral Cafe, 6 to 8 p.m. And I'll have musical backing by Trisha Spire on her cello. It's going to be a really amazing night, and I hope to see you all there. It takes me longer each time to forgive him. At first, I would feel better after a couple of hours, able to open myself up to him again, laugh and kiss him. Then a longer stretch of time before I know he's sorry and that he'll change. Lately, it's been days in bed, unable to move, paralyzed by the thought he has deceived me again. The cycle that devours us continues. I do something wrong, he blows up, I take it as the tipping point and plan my escape. He breaks down and swears it's going to be different, and that I've scared him enough for it to sink in, and that this time, he's changed. Day one of arriving. Well, more like leaving. We haven't just arrived in Ladner. Yeah, it's hectic, of course, getting things all prepped and ready, and so many little details that I had to sort out, but Joel helped a lot, and then had to wait for all the stuff I had to do that no one else can do. That's part of owning a business. That's annoying, but we've made it. Here's the spaceship, the Star Wagon. On our first night, it's very comfortable. I'll take a video in the day. But we have arrived after waiting 5 hours for ferries, basically. But we're here, day one. In Monars, the goats are giving birth. All 15 of our herd are pregnant. 2 have had theirs already up the mountain, but every day more come down on their own and go into delivery in the stable. Eventually, we can wean the kids off of the mother's milk and start to use it ourselves and sell cheese at the market. While Yosef is up the mountain to gather leafy branches to feed the birthing mothers, I hear a strange noise from the stable. Gael and Diego on their bi-weekly trip into town, and haven't been here for the births, so I shakily walk towards the sound on my own. One of the goats bleats in a low tone and sounds in pain. A goat, Rita, is giving birth. The kid's head and little front legs already stick out of the mother's birthing canal. Rita kneels and then stands, paces from side to side in the stable. The kid is stuck. So we are, LB and I, and Joel, is getting a milkshake from McDonald's. Just about to head out of Vancouver to stop in Whistler, maybe to see some friends, and then sleep in Lillooet, camp out at Lillooet, and on our way to Artswells. The launch was really good last night. The cello player was amazing, and I felt really confident in the performance, and I just get so caught up in like numbers and who's there and how many people and filling the seats, when really I should just be enjoying performing my work that I worked so hard on. So we're about to hit the road. LB, are you excited? All right, I'm here in the Artswells green room, and we're preparing, as in doing my makeup for the Artswells show. So at the Sunset Theater. Ready. Do you need assistance? I say, slow and in a calm way, even though my palms sweat. The goat looks at me, and I see the pain in her eyes while she continues to pace. I run to my house across from the stable and wash my hands and forearms, mimicking various hospital dramas I used to watch. I sling a clean towel over my shoulder and run back to see the goat bleat, grunt, and nervously jump up and kick back its hind legs. Just breathe, breathe, and push. Breathe, push. You can do this, Rita. I run to the gate, look to where Yosef headed earlier, and holler his name up the mountain. With no answer, I turn back to the one goat giving a troubled birth and the other goats giving space. Starting to pace, I say, "It's okay, it's all right. I'm going to assist you, okay?" Okay. I approach the birthing goat's back end. The tiny goat inside's bulgy eyes look around in a dazed confusion and flicks a bit of placenta off of its ear instinctively. I steady my hands around the slippery little thing. I tug softly, but my hands just slide down and collect mustard yellow goo between my fingers. I take a breath and slowly slide my hands inside the mama goat and get a grip behind the shoulder blades of the not yet newborn. When I feel the mom push down, I pull, but I don't feel a budge. Okay, let's breathe now. It's okay. Todo bien. Tranquila, tranquila. Now, push. The goat pushes, I pull, and a bundle of spindly legs and fur covered in placenta tumbles out into my arms. In awe, I offer the child up to her mother. "Look, Rita, you have a child now," I say, teary-eyed. "You did it." Rita looks at her kid, then at me, leans in and licks my forehead before she bends down to nuzzle and clean her newborn. I place the kid on a patch of straw and watch at a distance. Yosef peers into the stable after he throws down a bushel full of leafy branches. He gives me a big, beaming smile, and silent in wonder, we watch the first precious moments between mother and child. "You did good, Aly Bear," Yosef whispers, and wraps his arms around my shoulder.
That's right.
Writing the book has really taken me outside of the story, and it doesn't feel as heavy. So
Right.
the baggage, I guess, it's a memoir of checked baggage. So sharing it and other people saying like, "Oh, I was in that experience as well, not exactly the same in the woods, but metaphorically isolated," and and helping. Yeah, it's had a good reaction so far. I launched it a month ago, and I'm in the start of this cross-country trip. So yeah, I'm on a cross-country trip with my partner Joel and our dog Loverboy, the dog, and yeah, we came from Salt Spring Island, and we're going all the way to Cape Breton Island and doing book launches and vending my soaps along the way. I take another swig of water, nod my head at the juniper-lined path, and lift my backpack onto a steady bent knee before I swing it over my shoulder. The reason for the trip to town is to get insurance on a vehicle, since I'm the only one in the community with a driver's license. This return into civilization gives me a chance to possibly book a flight before I lose my nerve and sign insurance papers, which would keep me here for another year. It's a 4-hour hike from our community to the village of Osh, where we are headed. I've spent the hike lagging 10 minutes behind the 2 Spanish men, alone in the thoughts of my escape. From Osh, we hitchhike into Olot, the nearest town. It has a weekly farmers market where all the local Roma-like people meet and dumpster dive the leftover fruit and vegetables. Those are the folks we're staying with. Half of them also live in mountain villages, the other half in town, and come from all over Spain, with a handful from Belgium and France. I laugh at how different the Romas are to my friends in Toronto and what they would think. Yeah, you guys are in the book a little bit. And what they would think of my new acquaintances. My friends would never go a day, let alone years, without brushing their teeth. They wear deodorant, think body hair is unsightly, and would rather starve than look through a garbage bin for food. Am I right?
Heading across Ontario to go to Montreal for a show on Sunday in Montreal.
Yeah, what kind of show are we going to in Montreal?
A performance of mine.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, you've been the roadie. And with LD as our sidekick. He's our mascot.
It makes me wonder, can I go back to city life? Do I want to be amongst traffic, pollution, and a frantic lifestyle? Live for the weekends to drink away my cubicle confinement of a high-rise office? If I went back, is that what I would become? Would my years of traveling and community living just become water cooler intrigue? But I have to leave. I'm losing myself relying on Joseph to survive. The strong, cheery, independent person who used to be at the center of lively conversations, who makes jokes and tells intimate, no-boundary stories, or chats up the line at the bank. Minor social pleasantries that are lost to me when in a foreign country. Now, those characteristics are replaced by a passive, anxious, airy girl who's able to follow the Spanish conversation but just nods and smiles when I sense a joke has been made. Someone who doesn't have the energy to argue but makes excuses and tucks the irritations and frustrations inward to fester. I miss laughter, running water, an easier existence than spending my days taking care of basic survival. It's time to leave Joseph and Beau, but can I? Do I have the strength to start again on my own? Have I given this way of life a fair enough chance? The going is all uphill now, on steep natural steps that seem endless. I focus on my breath. I'm stronger physically from my time here, but mentally I've never been so unhealthy. Endless thoughts spiral in my head of what my life would be like if I left. I would live just outside of town in an English-speaking country, be the resident herbalist who makes tinctures and salves for a community of families and young people. I would dance around campfires, do pagan ceremonies in the woods, write for the local newspaper. These are mixed with the thoughts of how Joseph and I used to be back in the community in the Netherlands, the mini universe we had created,
laughing for hours at the endless characters and voices he'd make up, which melted away the icy exterior that has surrounded my guarded heart with the comfort of being held and loved. Around a bend, I almost walk right into Gael, who rolls a smoke and says something in Spanish. Diego sees my blank expression, then mimes to take a break, to drink and eat. I set down my pack and accept their homemade bread, cheese, and cured boar meat. A rustle in the thick rosebush to my right catches my breath. Is it Joseph or a wild boar? My stomach tightens and my eyes search the brush for more movement, wondering whether I will survive. So I wrote this book. It's self-published and took me about 6 years on and off to write it and 5 years to live it. And actually at the end of the Canadian tour, there's nothing like a deadline to get your self-published book out. It's a 10-year reunion with the folks in the book. We worked together in Amsterdam, so we're having a reunion over in Europe. So I'm flying Halifax to London, and my partner and his dad are driving my van back across Canada, so that's nice. That's chapter 1. So.